Oh, Bohemian, we are.
We haven't seen any natural formation that look anything like this.
Oh my freaking god, guys. Oh my freaking god, you'll have to see this. This guy who created this original hurricane and tornado control device.
Welcome back to the channel. Here we go.
After Miami and the Bayside Mall incident, we have been having an increase in reported sightings of these tiny creatures. Some of them are mixed with other animals. Now, we are unsure if exposure to the Miami Mall incident has altered the wildlife within the area. As we mentioned before, the event was not just at the mall, but 1.5-mile radius of the Bayside Marketplace. Could this be what Fitz had uncovered before he went missing? Once again, if you have any information of the whereabouts of Fitz, please contact us directly. We are asking everyone to please share in the comments if you have seen any of these creatures in your area. This will help us in our investigation. Thank you.
What the fuck is that? That's fucking crazy, man. What the fuck? What the fuck is that?
Mira, ahí está de vuelta, apareció. No sé qué carajo lo está haciendo. Mierda. Ahí viene. La madre se acerca.
You are the unvaccinated. You are the problem. It is the unvaccinated who are the problem. Period. End of story.
The only people that you can blame, this isn't shaming, this is the truth. Maybe they should be shamed, are the unvaccinated.
It's time to start blaming the unvaccinated folks, not the regular folks.
Anyone you came into contact with will blame you, as will the rest of us who have done the right thing by getting vaccinated.
Because frankly, we know that we can't trust the unvaccinated.
I think it's time to get our moral house in order, Anderson. It's the unvaccinated who are the threat.
All the vaccinated folks are going to start wearing masks to protect the unvaccinated folks. It's called a Christian value.
You're basically punishing the vaccinated for the sins of the unvaccinated.
People are not behaving honorably. The unvaccinated are basically saying, well, it's open season for me. I can do whatever I want as well.
The unvaccinated are basically beating their breasts and running around the country saying, we don't care, we're living free and so forth.
We've been patient. but our patience is wearing thin.
Unvaccinated, a group that includes children and people acting like children. And the rest of us are starting to get pissed off.
The vaccinated feel the unvaccinated are making me upset or angry.
This is not about freedom or personal choice.
Well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom.
The other day, Howard Stern weighed in with a much different approach. Take a look.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated? Their freedom.
But you're treading on our freedom and you're making other people sick, and really you're killing other people.
The anti-vaxxers, they seem to have a thing for death and home remedies.
The anti-maskers turned anti-vaxxers are not just putting their own lives at risk. If that was the issue, we could just say that we can watch them compete to win Placer's show in the Darwin Awards.
We have to start doing things for the greater good of society and not for idiots who think that they can do their own research.
And don't get me started on the lunatics who won't take any of the COVID vaccines.
Life is too short to be an ass. Life is way too short to be ignorant of the promise of something that is helping people worldwide.
Maybe you're doing it because you're disconnected or disorganized. Maybe you have some sympathetic psychological reasons. But maybe you're just being antisocial.
Oh, you can't shame them. You can't call them stupid. You can't call them silly. Yes, they are.
Those who are not vaccinated will end up paying the price.
The unvaccinated should be taxed. They should pay more for health care.
We need to start looking at the choice to remain unvaccinated the same as we look at driving while intoxicated.
We're going to see, and I've said, almost two types of America.
Dr. Fauci said that if hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack, yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo, rest in peace, Wheezy.
Pointing back to the unvaccinated who are really creating a problem in this country, every death that we are seeing from COVID could have been prevented.
Literally, the only people dying are the unvaccinated. And for those of you spreading misinformation, shame on you. Shame on you. I don't know how some of you sleep at night.
Oh my God!
Olha isso. Será possível?
The remote and rugged region in the North Caucasus, in the Kabardino-Balkaria Republic of the Russian Federation, is a place of towering mountains and untamed wilderness. Yet, in 2011, Arthur Zhemukov, who is a Russian speleologist, which is the scientific study and exploration of caves, made an astonishing discovery at the Kara Hora mountain peak, one which would completely shatter our understanding of ancient human history. There, he found a deep, narrow, vertical shaft, seemingly swallowed by the earth itself. It was made of parallel stone slabs that seemed perfectly geometrical, as if they were artificially made. Zhemukov and his team decided to venture deeper, and what they discovered within the shaft was nothing short of extraordinary. The walls were straight and polished, extending 40 meters or 130 feet deep into the mountain, before opening into a wide underground hall with a height of 36 meters, about 118 feet. The straight walls of this shaft were constructed from large megalithic blocks that fitted together at right angles with minimal gaps. There were even large stones that looked like columns. Overall, the explored dimensions of the shaft, from the upper part all the way to the lower platform, span more than 100 meters, around 350 feet. Artur Zhemukov and his team were completely stunned. They concluded that whatever this prehistoric structure was, it was undoubtedly an artificial construction of an enormous scale. They found perfectly straight and polished narrow walls that go 40 meters deep into the mountain. Arthur Zhemukov noted that the polished walls made of megalithic blocks were very similar to those found at the shafts of the Egyptian pyramids, precisely the Grand Gallery at the Pyramid of Khufu, the blocks of which are approximately the same size. And like the advanced ancient structures of Egypt, this ancient gallery also most likely served some kind of advanced technological function and was probably part of a larger structure. It took more than an hour for the expedition to even reach the bottom of the structure, which requires extensive climbing experience and endurance. And it's believed that there are additional chambers and channels that go much deeper underground, which are still undiscovered. Due to the colossal size of the underground shaft, only a small part of it is explored. The climbers advanced 100 meters deeper, and they ran into narrow passages in which they couldn't enter. The team concluded that this structure, whatever it was indeed man-made, as there were no analogs anywhere among other cave systems in the world, especially caves possessing polished flat parallel walls, rectangular blocks with straight edges, the presence of what seemed like a solution between the perfect fittings of the blocks and the absence of oblique cracks characteristic of tuff. But how is this possible? How could gigantic 200-ton perfectly flat stone blocks be assembled with such precision into such a narrow shaft deep underground? What kind of technology was used for the construction of the Kara Hora shaft? Additional expeditions inside the shaft were made by Vadim Chernobrov, head of the Kosmopoisk, which is an organization that researches different anomalies in Russia. Vadim and his team, together with Arthur Zhemukov, climbed inside the shaft and filmed the experience for a documentary featured on Russian TV. Chernobrov even mapped the discovered parts of the shaft, carefully measuring the dimensions and scale of the site. Here is a photo of the map made by Chernobrov. As you can see, this does not look like any other known cave anywhere in the world. And here we can see a 3D demonstration of the shaft from the channel of Vladislav's Guska, where the site is placed next to a Soviet space rocket. It certainly looks more like an artificial structure rather than a natural cave. Moreover, who knows how deep it actually goes and what else is hiding underground? But if this is an advanced prehistoric man-made construction, what was its purpose? There were various theories. According to Vadim Chernobrov, this was a man-made structure which was not intended for human habitation due to the narrow passages, where even a child cannot squeeze through, together with the numerous tiny holes where a human hand can hardly fit. He noted that each such mini cavity goes far into the depths where even the lights from the flashlights do not reach the bottom. This led him to believe that this structure had a technological purpose. He noted that the mysterious cavities inside the Egyptian pyramids, which he visited numerous times, were also not intended for the movement of people and served some kind of technological purpose, just like the Khora Hora shaft. The sophisticated shafts we find in Egypt also lead deep underground, and they often lead to chambers with unknown purposes. No one knows what they were used for, but they're clearly not meant to be traversed by humans, as there are no ladders, stairs, or any other method to climb inside them. There are no burn marks on the walls from torchlights, meaning there wasn't any visibility inside, and there aren't any hieroglyphs, artifacts, or anything else that can indicate human presence or a cultural and religious purpose. It seemed the intent of these systems was purely practical, yet unknown to us. Vadim Chernobrov could only speculate, saying it could have been some kind of plant, a part of an advanced ancient factory or some kind of resonator. He said it could be a device for seismological research or even an ancient energy generator. Other researchers brought different theories, believing this was the underground part of a long-lost pyramid that once stood on the surface of the mountain, which is now long gone. Climbers who went inside believed the place served some sort of ventilation purpose, as they noted that there was a constant flow of air circulating and coming from beneath. Despite all the different theories, everyone who climbed inside the cave agreed that this structure, whatever it was certainly artificially created. But if this really was part of an advanced underground complex built by a prehistoric civilization, how is it possible that no one had ever heard anything about such civilization in the region? Well, the thing is, there were certain people who knew about the underground structure, many decades before Arthur Zhemukov actually discovered it. In fact, Arthur Zhemukov didn't discover the shaft by pure luck or accident. He had been searching for it for many years. Zhemukov was studying the documents and traces left by the Nazi Germans during World War II. Hitler, along with several other high-ranking Nazi officials, was deeply influenced by the occult. These beliefs were intertwined with the ideology of the Thule Society, an esoteric group that sought to explore and revive ancient Aryan traditions. Heinrich Himmler, head of the SS, was particularly obsessed with these ideas and established the Ahnenerbe, an institute dedicated to researching the ancestral heritage and occult practices of the Aryan race. The Ahnenerbe, officially known as the Research and Teaching Society for Ancestral Heritage, conducted numerous expeditions to various parts of the world, including Tibet, in search of a mythical underground city known as Shambhala. This search was driven by the belief that Shambhala held mystical powers and advanced ancient technology that could be harnessed to further Nazi ambitions. Additionally, they sought to find connections with the Aryan race, hoping to legitimize their racial theories and propaganda. In 1938 to 1939, an expedition led by SS officer Ernst Schaefer was sent to Tibet under the guise of scientific research. While the primary stated goals were anthropological and botanical studies, there was a covert mission to investigate the myths of Shambhala and uncover any potential ancient knowledge or artifacts that could aid the Nazi cause. In the summer of 1942, the German military launched Operation Edelweiss, a major offensive aimed at capturing the oil-rich regions of the Caucasus, particularly the Baku oil fields in Azerbaijan. Securing these resources was crucial for the German war effort, as oil was essential for fueling the Wehrmacht's operations. The offensive was part of a broader strategy to deprive the Soviet Union of its vital resources and to gain a strategic foothold in the region. Beyond the immediate military objectives, the Nazis harbored ideological interests in the Caucasus. The Nazi occult organizations and members of the Ahnenerbe believed that the region could hold clues to the origins of the Aryan race. They speculated that ancient Aryan civilizations have once thrived in the Caucasus, leaving behind traces of their advanced knowledge and culture, including vast underground cities. It appears that the Germans were very close to discovering the Kara Hora underground shaft, as in very close proximity to the entrance of the shaft, on top of the mountain, there was a swastika carved on a boulder by the Germans. Perhaps the swastika was left as an identification mark by the Nazi researchers who knew they were very close to discovering the underground city of the Aryans. What's even stranger was that a more ancient swastika carving was also found in the region, one which has nothing to do with the Germans. Could this swastika have been left by the advanced ancient civilization that constructed the Kara Hora shaft? Were the Nazis emulating these people with their swastika and ideology? This was how Arthur Zhemikov finally discovered the underground complex, not with his knowledge as a speleologist, but with his research into the occult and ancient texts and legends from the region. In fact, he learned that in the North Caucasus, numerous ancient legends about vast underground cities and caves have been passed from generation to generation. Arthur Zhemikov believed that his discovery of the Kara Hora shaft was just the beginning, and that there were numerous more remarkable structures and underground cities and complexes hidden in the depths of the mountain. Strangely, just before launching further expeditions in search of these ancient sites, a mysterious tragedy ceased the research. In 2015, Arthur Zhemikov was hit by a car, having reported on some important find the day before. But that's not all. Viktor Chernobrov, the founder and leader of the Kosmopoisk organization, who was accompanied by Zhemikov in his own expedition to the Kara Hora shaft, also died just 2 years later of cancer. There were also 3 more people associated with the research who also died mysteriously. We can't say if all of these tragedies are just a coincidence or something much more. As of today, there is hardly any information on the Kara Hora shaft or any other expeditions or discoveries in the Caucasus region. The only thing we found were 2 albums from 2017 and 2018 by a man named Alexander Splashnov, who ventured into the region and even climbed inside the Kara Hora shaft. The photographs he made of the Kara Hora shaft are remarkable and showcase the geometrically precise shaft with polished walls and massive megalithic blocks. But that's not all that captured Splashnov's attention. He made numerous photos of interesting things he found in the region around the entrance of the Kara Hora shaft. Here is a photo of the famous swastika left by the Nazi Germans who were researching the area. And here, he photographed an interesting stone, which looks like it has machine marks on it. On this photo, Splashnov captured a stone formation that is almost entirely buried in soil and vegetation, yet looks like it could be part of a man-made structure long forgotten. It looks like the stone features precise cuts and flat surfaces that were artificially modified. And on this section of Kara Hora, it looks like there are massive stone blocks stacked together, with everything below them being buried in the ground. Once again, we can see precise cuts with right angles and flat walls. Take a look at the strange forms of the stone that are still visible. Does this look like a natural formation or an artificially modified stone, part of another megalithic structure? It appears the entire area of Karahora is filled with stone blocks that look like they were precisely cut with some sort of machine and probably used for large construction endeavors. Just compare the perfectly flat and polished surface of the block below with the naturally eroded rock above. Could this have been an ancient quarry used by the same prehistoric civilization that built the Karahora shaft? Here we can clearly see precise machine marks on the surface of the rock, which were probably left after the extraction of the stone blocks. And look at the precision showcased in this photo, where the rocks are joined perfectly together with almost no gap and exhibit these fascinating shapes. We haven't seen any natural formation that look anything like this. Alexander Sploshnov photographed his entire journey entering the Karahora shaft, from the site's entrance to his descent down, and all the way to the lowest sectors of the shaft. The photos are of remarkable quality and can be used for further research. The albums, with all of the incredible photos captured by Alexander Sploshnov, were uploaded to his page at vk.com, which is a Russian Facebook alternative. We'll leave a link to the albums in the description below if you wish to examine them in more detail. The discovery of the Karahora shaft in the North Caucasus by Arthur Zhumukov in 2011 has raised profound questions about the ancient human history and the technological capabilities lost in time. The intrigue surrounding the site continues to captivate those who ponder the abilities and knowledge of ancient civilizations. Some believe this is the ultimate proof of a technologically advanced prehistoric civilization, while others believe it is a natural formation. Like we already explained, many of the most active researchers of the site have died, and no news about it has been heard in recent years. The true origin and purpose of the Karahora shaft continues to remain a mystery. If one day it is proven to be the product of an advanced ancient civilization, the structure would be one of the largest megalithic sites on Earth.
Classic orgone accumulator built in the 50s from Reich's design. Inside the thickness of this wall are the layers of the cotton and steel wall. And what 3 layers means is that this outside fiberboard, and then the first layer of steel wool behind it is considered one layer. And then there's another layer of cotton and steel wool, that's the second layer. And then there's another layer of cotton, and then the final metal layer, and that's the 3 layers. So a layer consists of a layer of cotton and a layer of metal, and organic and metallic equals 1 layer. In this one, not only do you get the thermic quality of the heat streaming in off the wall, but you can also hear electrostatic sparking in the steel wool. Sitting here for 15 minutes and tell me what they think. And they all say they hear this popping noise or cracking or snapping.
4 feet and then about 6 feet tall. And we could close it up and seal it completely against light coming in from the outside. And within about 5 or 10 minutes, even if 2 people were inside of it, you could see each other, and you could see each other even with your eyes closed, meaning the life force acted like a self-luminescing, and you've got all kinds of visual effects that acted directly on your optic nerve, even if with your eyelids closed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's totally amazing. And you could see this blue-gray fog drifting through the accumulator, just like Reich says in his books. Yellow flashes. I've seen all that stuff.
And also putting the shooter in here, using it as a seat, that increases, the shooter's a 5-fold, I believe.
Yeah.
Which makes it 8-fold in here, and then you can like charge up certain areas of the body. Very important thing to point out here, and I don't think we can stress it strongly enough, is you don't use these things around electrical appliances.
You don't ever use one of these things with a television pointed at it, or underneath fluorescent fixtures, or near
there, the good side or the bad side.
Right.
This is just accumulating what's ever around, and
that's why we recommend that you find a river with some rocks in the middle, and you come down and you set up down here like we did, because this is the best place in the world to do it.
I stopped telling people about this stuff because it's pretty dangerous to build these things in the cities because you're around a lot of high voltage and things like that, and so many houses now have radioactive sources in them in the ionizing style of smoke detector. Life force moves in what Wright called the spinning waves, and that is kind of a spiral movement of the energy. And when a spiral movement comes up against a corner like this, it kind of denatures it. It can't move in its natural spiral. So what happens in an accumulator like this is that the energy starts denaturing and moves in quality towards DOR. So what we started doing is we started building cylindrical accumulators, just a cylinder with open ends with lots of layering around that, and then when you get into that, the energy doesn't denature, and what you can do is you can set up just a metal core that's a cylinder and then build up some blankets like this that are organic all the way on the outside. And then when you want an accumulator, you can lay these blankets down on top of the metal core and give yourself an accumulator when you want it. And then when you're done with it, you can take the blankets off.
But don't take our word for it. Get it and try it.
Try it yourself. That's
right.
right.
I didn't take anybody's word for it. I tried it.
Me too.
I will go feel the charge coming in off it. But you can see where it's clearly organic wool on one side and the other side is metal, and there's a couple layers in there.
It's a steel screen.
Now, one of the disadvantages to this one is it's always on.
There's a charge on this iron section here, because this is pure cotton and pure steel wool in this. And it's organic on all sides, which means that unless you wrap it around something like your body, it's not accumulating anything because there's no final metal layer for the charge to build up on.
I can feel it coming in right away immediately.
Yeah, the thermal effects, this must be at least 4 or 5 layers because of the thickness of it.
Yeah, best one I have in my collection.
This is very similar to the kind that I have built for myself in my research. It's the simplest thing to do is just to go to a fabric store and buy some cotton batting that you'd put into a quilt and steel wool pads that you can just unroll. 100% cotton pillowcase, and you just lay out layers of cotton and steel wool, cotton and steel wool, cotton and steel wool, and you just put it in the pillowcase and
Hey, if you're still here, please do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button so this video gets recommended to other people. Thanks!
Oh my freaking God, guys. Oh my freaking God, y'all have to see this. This guy who created this original hurricane and tornado control device. His name is Andrew whatever. Okay, it was abandoned. This patent was abandoned. Oh my God, y'all gotta see this. This is fucking crazy. Okay, we're gonna look him up. He didn't abandon it. Okay, what happened? He died. He died. Before it went through, he died. Okay, here we go. He's dead. Holy God. Even his son died. Oh my God. Watch this, guys. This is crazy. It's going to get crazier and crazier. Hold on. You've got to look at this. Okay, first off, let's look at these pictures, because you know how they're seeing all these swirls in the hurricanes? Okay, all right. Yeah, we can make tornadoes and hurricanes with these little swirly things done by sound waves. It looks very familiar, okay? Guys, this needs to go viral. What I'm about to show you, you're not going to believe this. It gets weirder and weirder. Okay, so this, he died. It never went through. So we're going to look at the very last one that mentions stuff like this. And this is like exactly the same patent. It's exactly the same patent. This guy has it with this weird name. Okay, we're going to click on this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, so it's still active. All right, cool, whatever. This is the latest one. Guys, what in the world? Look at this. This applicant disclosed the invention to 21st Century Fox and the Walt Disney Company in 2018 for partnership with the Catholic Church? Oh, hold on. Hold on. It gets better. It gets better. Why does Disney and Century 21 and the Catholic Church need a part of this? Why? Okay, we're going to look at, this was confusing me. This was stuff that's not mentioned in this patent, non-patent citations, and I'm looking, hold up, look at this. How about the Last Judgment from the Vatican City? Or what's this Goose screenplay? Remember this Goose screenplay. I'm going to go back to this. Look at all this stuff at the Vatican. All this stuff at the Vatican. Okay, guys. Watch this. This is going to blow your mind. This is crazy. So let me point out the Last Judgment by Michelangelo is mentioned in this patent. Talking about the second coming of Christ and the final eternal judgment. Okay, just note that real quick. But you know how everybody's talking about this weird blob of thing under the water that they're seeing? Why is it that this works underwater? This is meant to produce these hurricanes with sound from underwater. Okay. See here, the sound coming underwater. Yeah, okay, note that. I'm telling you, it's gonna get weirder. This thing is big. I don't know if that's the sun up there. I don't know. This thing is big, okay? So I'm like, okay, let's find this guy. Who is this guy? This guy comes up. Okay, I don't know if it's him. I don't know. Here's another one. It's the same guy. I don't know if it's him. And then I find him on Twitter and he's talking about Goose. Oh, okay, it's him. Let's read. What is this Goose? So I click on it, right? Okay, and what is it? It's like this whole story of kind of about him and how he discovered how when you put pictures of Michelangelo together, like they make different pictures and stuff. I don't know. You can read it. I didn't find anything too crazy in it other than that. But like this guy has obviously been kind of into this for a little bit, which is weird because he made this patent and it gets weirder. Hold on. So I start going through his Tumblr and he's got this poem he wrote about ripping your organs out and all this agony and your soul stinks and then this and wait, hold on. Then there's this poem. Saying we're not individuals but meant to feel how all this pain and agony happens and we rip our hearts out and okay, you're just gonna have to read it. The heart stinks, it becomes intestines, our soul stinks with new dread. We were resilient like the Aztecs, but then our greatest mistake was love. Oh God. We were scared of the V word, okay? The healthy cure. But like sterling silver tempts Judas, he was like Judas. Oh my God. Her warnings flashed before like open jolly signs, more frightening than words are than the imagery. Dude, check this guy out. This is insane. Please share this. What in the crap?
The footage of Bohemian Grove has finally came out, and to be honest with you, it's cringe at first and then it gets really creepy. In the beginning, of course, you have your introduction.
Oh, Bohemian, we are.
The spirit of the grove
And then the men in robes come holding torches, and behind them are soldiers with bow and arrows and swords. And then they line up in front of the crowd. The men in robes are first, behind them the soldiers, and behind that is the altar and the owl. They start to recite a lot of weird things. There's a 30-minute long video on YouTube, you can just go watch it. But this is when it starts to get creepy. The men in robes leave and then they come back, but they bring something with them. They start to get ready for the cremation of care ritual. Now, I don't know what these 4 men are holding, but man, does that look suspicious.
It's one of my, no way, they're sacrificing. They might be sacrificing one of the people they caught, sneaking into the...
Now, during the cremation of care ritual, they are delivered in effigy by boat. It's a lifelike statue that they put on the altar and burn. The boat makes it to the altar, but unfortunately, we're unable to see the ritual take place.
This was labeled as free energy. Take a look at it. If anything, it's interesting. I'm not sure where the power source. It looks like a positive and a negative lead, but as you'll see, once he opens this thing up, it becomes unexplainable. I don't know, maybe one of you guys have an explanation for this, but if you could at least just start a fire, that alone would make it free energy. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Unanswered universe. Now look at this. 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 Now look at.
They've been hiding this from us. Have you ever wondered why many ancient civilizations are shaped extremely similar to the motherboard of a computer? And why so many old cities and places mysteriously burned down in fires? This is because the world before us was full of advanced technologies far more powerful than anything we have today. The ancient civilizations were created in a specific manner to farm energy from the atmosphere to power their society. These ancient civilizations had extremely esoteric information about the Earth. This information was passed down and evolved into the Tartarian Empire. They had advanced architecture that was able to harness the atmospheric energy for each building. This made energy practically free for everyone. When the elites across the world discovered how they could control countries by limiting their energy supply, they waged war on Tartarian technology and destroyed and burned it all. They began selling oil to countries so they could completely control them. They did everything in their power to erase true history and keep us in the dark. Our history is so much different than we have been taught, and we are so much more powerful than they allow us to know.
Police.
Okay, this is the craziest thing. I have never seen anything like this in my entire life, and I lived in Florida my entire life.
What? Those are all bugs.
Those are all bugs. I thought the restaurant was smoking. Those are all bugs. You can even see them flying, like, dude, you can't even tell on the video how many there are. There are millions and billions and trillions of bugs here right now. All of those lines, bugs. Oh my gosh. They're getting closer to me so you can start seeing them more. Oh, I cannot believe this. I've literally never seen anything like this in my entire life. How is this Ohio? It looks like it's pouring rain. It's literally not even raining. These are bugs. I cannot even fathom how many bugs are here. This is absolutely absurd. Absurd. Oh my gosh.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
Oh my god, dale mamá, single!
Did you guys hear what happened in Bangladesh? Their whole system, government and all, has been hijacked. They have imposed a strict curfew because of this, and over 800 inmates have fled from prison, y'all. It's getting crazy. Check this out.
Right now in Bangladesh, it's absolutely wild. The police have imposed a strict curfew with a shoot-on-sight order. Some official government websites have been hacked. It's estimated that 800 inmates have fled from prison. On Thursday, the government imposed a nationwide shutdown of its internet network. Take a couple minutes, read up on this. Seeing what's actually happening right now in the world can help you visualize how to prepare, preemptively.
So what he's saying is there's a lot going on around the planet right now that we need to prepare for, because the government isn't telling us anything. If it wasn't for TikTok, y'all, we would know nothing around what's going on with the world. So remember, they made that movie Civil War. Y'all need to get your things ready. Just letting y'all know. No fear mongering, but they've been showing these things in movies for a very long time now, and any minute this can happen. But let me know what you guys think about this. Please like, comment, and share for more videos like this, and make sure you keep up with me on all these other platforms. Okay, thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift. Peace in.
In this footage, I will show you the sun as it exchanges tracks. What seems to be cloud formations under the sun are actually a track system. Watch carefully. Pay attention to the lower cloud formations. Don't worry if you can't see it. You will before the end of this video. When the sun gets to this point, it makes a track exchange. After the sun makes the exchange, it carries on its path using the track to the right. Let's take a look at the processed footage. In the processed footage, you can now see the tracks interlinking within one another. The selected area is a vector track that is clearly visible. This is the track that the sun makes the exchange to.
This should be fun! Remember, reality is an illusion, the universe is a hologram. Bye, Gold, bye!
Just trust your lucky tie. Okay, we'll only jump in if he starts doing badly.
Hiya there! Stan Pines here! Let's get real! Jump in! Jump in!
I'm Stan Pines.
I love my staff, but they add things. They add things all the time.
I believe in things. America. Freedom. Ameri-freedom.
How'd you do it, Mr. Pines?
I don't know.
Indeed, the anomaly of the multiverse travels from one universe to another through a mystifying electric field portal, transporting them to another dimension from the present. It is beguiling to witness the possibility of a portal leading to a different dimension. However, its towering achievement has been the invention of the Large Hadron Collider, also known as LHC.
Everything's fine. Because Joe Biden called in and Siraj Hashmi says, yeah, he's dead. Yep. So let me play this for you. Kamala Harris speaks to Biden over the phone at campaign headquarters. Here you go.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call.
They're recording.
And we've been talking every day. You guys heard it from Doug's voice. We love Joe and Jill. We really do. They truly are like family to us. And we do. Everybody here does.
It's mutual.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching the kid.
It's just a guy with a sound button.
Kid, I love you.
I love you, Joe.
She wants
Why
to
did
leave
that
so
not
badly.
seem real?
That was a recording.
If you listen to the whole recording, it sounds either massively edited or AI.
Let me play it again.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the
recording?
Yes.
Mantra du feu. Quand on écrit ça, la mer vient. Tu peux voir la mer vient. C'est le Bija Mantra du feu.
Alright, that's it for today's session. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks again everyone for showing up, and I will see you around.